scenarios where you've just deleted everything and cloned the Git repository again? Or what are things where you've struggled to use Git? Or what are those tools that you've always wanted to figure out but you've never looked up? What are the things that you would like us to talk about today? Merge conflict? I love it. So I've got this repository here, and it is empty. So let's create a new Git repository. Now, typically what we would do is we would say git clone from some URL, github.com/robrich/, but we're not going to do that. We could also say git clone from internal server. We're not going to do that either. Instead, let's create a new repository this way, git init. Now, git init is really cool in that we've created this repository in this folder, but we haven't linked it to a remote server yet. That's okay. So now we've got this Git repository. Let's open it up here in source control. Not there. Here it is, Git scenarios. And now in this folder, we have one .git folder. So that's kind of tiny. Let's zoom in. There we go. There's our .git folder. Now, if you're on Mac or Linux, this folder is hidden by default. If you're on Windows, this folder is also hidden by default. But I came in here to the View options, and I chose to show hidden files and folders. And so I now see that .git folder. And this .git folder is the Git database. So how do we back up a Git database? We copy that Git folder somewhere. That's it. Everything that we need inside of Git is right here in this .git folder. Okay, so let's go create some content. I'm going to open this folder up in code just so that we can see it. Let's get rid of this. Oh, GitHub Copilot is not connected to the internet. I agree. New file, file1.txt. Into file 1, I'm going to say this is the contents for file 1. Cool. So now we have one file that we can add to our Git repository. Let's git add file 1, git status. And now we can see that it's in our working directory. Now our working directory is cool. It's the things that we're about to commit, but we haven't committed it yet. So that working directory is a good place for us to stage all the things, make sure this is exactly what we want to commit. And in this case, I want to commit it. So git commit, I'll give it a message, committing file 1. Cool. Okay, so we've got file 1. Let's create file 2, and we'll redirect that to file2.txt. Git add file 2, git commit -m file 2, git log. Okay. So now we want to deploy the latest version of our code. So I go up to my project manager and I say, hey, can I deploy version 0C, F6, 0C, C, D0, D5, C8, C9, F3, 57, A05, D6. Can I deploy it now? That's the version that Git's going to keep internally, but we might want to refer to that in a different way. So let's say git log --1 line. And now we have just the first 7 characters of that Git commit. Cool. So that Git commit has those first 7 characters, and that will help us. Let's go find our, there we go. Move it to the top, like that. Is that easier? Cool. So I want to commit some other stuff. Echo file 3 to file 3.txt, git add file 3, git commit -m file 3, git log --1 line. Okay, cool. Now, that's what I did for production. But I want to git check out this commit right here. Git log dash, oh, ooh. We are in a detached head state. We're in this zombie land where it's like, I don't know, how did we get here? This is a really, really scary message. What does this mean? Well, what it means is that we checked out a commit. We didn't check out a branch. Now we can still do stuff with this. So let's do this. Git echo file2, redirect that to file2.txt, git add file2, git commit -m file2, git log -- one line. Cool. Everything still works, but we're in this detached head state. I've got this head over here. We haven't checked out a branch. So if I were to say git checkout main and git log, now, well, where's this commit 021609? I now only have 0cf60cc. Okay, so, well, how might we get back to that? Git ref log. Git ref log tells me where did I move around recently. So I got this commit, and it's over there, and I was on it right here. So let me go check out that commit again. Git checkout. Ooh, zombie message. Oh, yeah, we're in a detached head state. We just need to git checkout -b branch 2. Now we are no longer in a detached head state. Now we are on a branch. So let's git log -- one line. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where did main go? I broke it. Where's main? It's here in this .git folder. Git is great in that it's this double entry bookkeeping system. You can't break Git unless you go change stuff in that folder. It's still in there. All of our Git content is there in that folder. We don't need to worry. Well, how do I see it? I'm looking at the commits, but I'm only looking at the commits from my branch down. I'm not looking at the other commits. So let's say git log -- one line -- all. Now I'm looking at all the commits. That's kind of not what I thought was going on here. There's some here and some there. Let's do this a little bit differently. Git log -- one line -- all -- graph. Okay, now I can see some cool ASCII art. I can see that main went this way and my branch went that way. Now I have that great visualization showing how this came to be. So let's add some other things. I can say git log -- one line -- graph -- decorate. Decorate will add in the branch names. And actually in my git config, I had actually put that in from the start. So it was there the whole time. But there's that big command line, git log -- one line -- graph -- decorate -- all. We will see that a lot. Cool. So I want to now put these branches back together. Git merge main. Now what we do is we merge from the branch where we are into the branch that we've specified. So let's go take a look at our graph again. And now we can see that main went this way for a while, and my branch went that way for a while, and then they came back together. But main is still over there. So how do we get main caught back up? How do we back merge? Well, what we did when we merged was we said, okay, I want to take these two nodes and put them together. So let's say git checkout main, git merge branch 2. Now, the interesting thing is now we'll see that both of our nodes are right there at the top, main and branch 2. Cool. Come in. Okay, so we've got our branches, but main is now our commit. So I'm going to ignore that for a minute. I'm going to say echo file5, redirect that to file5.txt, git add file5, git commit -m file5, git log --one line --graph --decorate --all, and we can see that I did some more work on branch 2. Uh-oh. I didn't do the work on branch 2, I did the work on main. Uh-oh. Let's go delete the entire Git repository. Let's clone it from the server again. I don't know, that might take an hour or so. Or, let's see if we can move these labels back around a little bit. Now, I want main to be down here, and I want branch 2 to be up there. Okay, let's start with moving branch 2. Git checkout branch 2, git merge main. Cool. So now branch 2 is where it needs to be. Now how do we put main back? Git checkout main, git reset there, git status. Now we have this untracked file 5. That isn't really what I wanted, but yep, I've got my branches back where I wanted. Branch 2 now has the commit on it, and main is back where I put it. But now I have this dangling file, and I'm like, well, but isn't that part of file? Oh, well, I'll just go delete it. rm file 5, because nothing bad can happen there. Cool. It's green again. Okay, well, git checkout branch 2, git, let's come back in here to VS Code, and let's modify file 2, change file 2, add more changes. Oh, we're programming in C, so we need some semicolons. Oh, and we're also doing some Python, so apparently we need some colons and some indents, because Python likes indents, but not with tabs. Okay, so I'm coming along and I'm doing my work, and I get the call and I say, hey, production is down, we need to stop everything and go fix the thing. Okay, I got this. Git checkout main. Let's go modify main, and of course we need to fix production outage. And now let's come back in here, git status. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I was in the middle of file 2 and I just switched branches to go add stuff to file 3. Now what? Okay, I want to add file 3 to main. I want to not add file 2 to main. Am I on the right branch? Git log --one line --graph --decorate --all. Yes, I'm on main. Okay, so we need to commit file 3. Now, of course, we're going to say git add everything, and that's going to do bad things. Let's not do that. Let's instead say git add file 3. Git status. Cool. So we can see that file 3 is added to our staging area. File 2 is not. We're going to commit file 3. We're not going to commit file 2. Well, yeah, but maybe we've got some changes here in file 2 as well. So prod fix here. Uh-oh. Git status. Now we need to commit some of file 2 and not commit all of file 2. This is getting hairy. Oh, hey, I've got a solution. Let's go delete the file and then restore the file and then change the stuff again, and then hey, if we need another version control system on top of our version control system, I don't think we're doing it right. Copy folder versioning is definitely a version control system, but we've got Git. So I can instead say git diff file 2. Okay, so I've got these lines that I want to add to file 2, but I only want to add some of the lines. So I can say git add chunk. And the cool thing is when I add a chunk, now I can pick the lines. Now it's going to start to group by section. And so maybe it's going to grab all of that new section. So I'm actually going to use git extensions. Git extensions or source tree or Git Kraken will give us a really cool UI that we can use to start to do this. Here's file 2, and I only want to stage this one line. I don't want to stage anything else. Stage selected lines. Now we can see the unstaged section is all the stuff that I was doing before, and the staged section is just that piece that I want to commit here. Cool. So we could also give it a commit message here. Prod fix here. Yeah, that's a little better. Prod fix here. Let's commit it. And that's probably the only time I'll jump out of the command line. Cool. So git status, git log. What's the next one? One line. Graph. Decorate. All. Perfect. Ooh, not that many alls. Okay, so main got his production fix. Now I need to flip back to branch 2 to commit my regular stuff over there. Uh-oh. Oh, that's okay. I'll just blow away my Git repository, copy the file back into... We can't change branches because we're in the middle of committing something and we don't want to commit that. So what are our options? Well, I kind of want to take branch 2 and stick it on top. I think that might be a little better. But I still have this thing that I need to commit first. Let's do this. Git checkout -b branch 2a. Okay, now we have a brand new branch. Now we can say git add file 2, git commit -m mod file 2. Now let's go look at our commit history, git log --one line -graph -decorate -all. And we can now see that we have that new commit on branch 2a. And now let's get that onto branch 2. Git checkout branch 2. I want to come grab this one commit. I want to pick it up and I want to put it on top of the other branch. So let's say git cherry pick this commit onto my current path. Oh! Now it worked, kind of. We're in the middle. Now we did this separate and merge, and you notice how I added file 2 and then I added file 2 on the other branch, and in that case it was able to just figure it out. It said, hey, those two things are the same, I'll just merge them for you. But in this case it said, hey, I need a little help. There's a section of code here that I don't really understand, and I need you to walk me through it. Okay, now I've defined my merge tool as beyond compare. You could also use WinDiff, or you could also use VS Code. But now we have a great scenario where this is the one that we started with, or this one in the middle is the one where we started with. This is their changes. This is our changes. And this is the file that we want to build down here at the bottom. So it said, okay, we started with this. We started with this, they added this, we added this. Now, what are we going to do when we finish? Well, I can do something like this. I can say, take left then right, or that prod fix probably doesn't make sense on this branch. It only makes sense on the other branch. So I can just go change it. I will just leave that off. Cool. So now we've got the file for branch 2 exactly the way we want it. Git cherry pick -- continue. I love this icon, by the way. I'm using Powerline fonts, and it says, hey, you're in the middle of cherry picking. I have this nice cherry icon. That's cool. Okay, so it popped up VS Code because VS Code was my editor that I chose to commit with, and it says mod file 2. Yep, that sounds like a good commit message. Let's close it. And now I am back. Git log -- one line -- graph -- decorate -- all. And yep, I've now got that mod onto branch 2, and I'm back. Cool. Yeah, it would have been a little easier if I just remembered to commit first before I switched branches. But we got ourselves out of it. That was cool. We committed it into this branch 2A, and then we cherry picked that back onto branch 2. Okay, now I'm left with this branch 2A thing. I think I'm kind of done with it. Git branch -d branch 2A. Oh, hey, are you sure you want to delete it? It has unmerged changes. Yes, I know. I actually cherry picked them over to the other branch. So, nope, not 2A. And I'm going to change this to capital D. Yes, I really, really do want to delete it. And now I've got my branch with the mod over here. Cool. Any questions there? Okay, so now I really like this branch 2 thing, but I noticed that it kind of makes more sense to be on top of main instead of beside main. You know, we did have this separate and come back together thing, but I really want to take this branch and I want to just put it on top of main. I want to change my base commit. I want to rebase. Okay, so I want to take branch 2, I want to take these 2 commits and I want to put it on top of main. Git rebase on top of main. Okay, we hit that merge conflict again. That's okay. Git merge tool. We know how to solve this. Let's go fix this. Okay, yeah, we have our production fix here, and we have our change file 2. Let's say I would like left and then right. Yeah, that looks good. Or, oh, hey, I forgot a semicolon here. Let me add a semicolon. Uh-oh. Our goal in this merge process is not to create new code. Our goal in this merge process is to merge the 2 pieces together. It would be easy for me to fix a typo here. Let's not. I'm just going to make a note that I do need to fix that code, but I'm not going to fix it as this commit. I'm going to fix it as a separate commit. So let's take that back off. Let's change that. Git status. Yep, I've got modified file 2 there. Git rebase -- continue. And now it's going to ask me for the commit message. I might have changed it. Yep, I think that commit message is fine. And the rebase goes through. And now, if I do git log -- one line -- graph -- decorate -- all, I've got branch 2 on top of me. Now, I chose in this case to rebase because I wanted that straighter branch. I could have chosen to pull in main like we did before. That's a branching strategy that we might want to choose. Now, I happen to like straight lines, but if you like showing that it came apart and went back together, then that's completely acceptable as well. Cool, so we rebased, and we cherry picked, and we back merged, undo and delete. Ooh, let's do that. So I've got this file 5 and this mod to file 2, and they're kind of really part of the same thing. Not only that, I have these other commits. Let's do some more commits. Oh yeah, I needed some more semicolons here, and kick the build by adding white space. And so let's git add everything, git status. I really don't want to commit that .orig file. That .orig file is kind of one of those artifacts from the commit. So let's say git rm file2.txt.orig. Ah, that didn't do it. Oh, I'm going to cheat. Because it's super easy inside Git extension, sorry. I can just say, hey, can you unstage that, please? And it's like, yep. There you go. Okay, git status. Now, I've got that. I probably want to create a git ignore file, but let's commit this. Changing things. Okay, let's go add the git ignore file. New file.git ignore. I want to ignore star.orig. And git add that. Git commit -m add.git ignore. Git status. Everything looks good. Git log -- one line -- graph -- decorate -- all. And yep, now we have a whole lot of commits. Now really I only added one feature, so I really don't want to do all of these commits just kind of saying, and then I added this, and then I kicked the build, and then that's not the story that I want to tell. The story that I want to tell is implemented the new feature. Can we take all of these commits and put them together? Now I know that I've done this badly in the past, so I'm just going to create an anchor for myself. Git branch old branch 2. And now, if anything goes wrong, I can go check out old branch 2 and get back to where I was. I just kind of left myself a spot there. Okay, so now I want to git rebase, but instead of changing the base commit, I want to change the commits themselves. So I'm going to do an interactive rebase. And I'm going to start with main. So now it'll pop up my editor and explain to me all of the commits that I have to choose from. Now I've got all these commits, and I can do a bunch of things. I can say, pick that commit, that's what they're all right now. Or I can reword, change the commit message. I can edit that commit, let's stop here and I'll maybe change some code. But I want to squash. I want to put all these commits together. So here's file 5, and here's this one, I'll squash that one, and I'll squash that one, or in this case, I'll just use the shortcut S. And now I've got one big feature change that allows me to do all the things. Okay, so the next thing, it's going to ask me to create a commit message. I just took all of these commits and put them together. So what is this commit message? Added feature foo. And that's a much better description of what happened here. Excellent. Close this, and it will finish that rebase. Git log -- one line -- graph -- decorate -- all. Starting with main, I now have one commit that says I did the thing. This is much more descriptive for my team, rather than them wandering around and saying, oh yeah, and you did this and you did that. I've now told that story much better. I've said, I have implemented this feature. It is now complete. All the wandering and meandering is interesting, but I'm just going to add this one feature. Okay, so git checkout main. While I was doing that, my coworkers were doing some other things. They were in here in file 3, change file 3, and git add file 3, git commit -m. My coworker did this. Cool. So now I'm ready to commit. Now main has kind of moved on, so I now have some questions. Should I rebase over the new main? Should I merge it together? Well, I spent so long kind of forming this commit message. Yeah, I think I'll rebase. Git checkout branch 2, git rebase main. In this case, oh, it did find a merge conflict. Cool. Git merge tool. What did you find? Did I happen to choose the same file? I did. Okay, left and then right. I think that looks good. Git merge -- continue. Yes. Oh, there is no merge in process. Git rebase -- continue. That's what I'm doing. Let's craft the commit message. I think that looks great. Git status. Everything is green. git log dash dash one line dash dash graph dash dash decorate. Now branch 2 is up to date. It's on top of main, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so let's git checkout main, git merge branch 2. Cool. Git status, everything is green. Git log dash dash one line dash dash graph dash dash decorate dash dash all. And now main is caught up with our new branch. And yeah, now we're probably done with branch 2. Git branch dash D branch 2. And yeah, I think old branch 2 is unnecessary as well. I've kind of learned what I needed to from there. Git branch dash D branch old branch 2. Git log dash dash one line dash dash graph dash dash decorate dash dash all. Cool. Now we did an interesting branching and merging strategy there. This is called GitHub flow, where we start at main, we'll create a feature branch, we'll build up our feature branch, we'll create a pull request. In this case, when we merged our pull request, we did it as a fast forward as opposed to a merge node, but we did GitHub flow. Now what about Git flow? Git flow is an interesting branching and merging strategy where we can take a look at different branches that have semantic meaning. And I wish I had internet because I would pull up a picture of this, but I don't. Git merge flow, or Git flow. Git checkout dash B develop. Now what's cool about Git flow is it is a branch naming convention that helps us understand where the branches are in their development. Main is what is in production. Develop is done features that are ready to be deployed. And we might create feature branches. So let me say git checkout feature slash Jira 123. And now, git checkout dash B. Now I'm in a new feature branch where I can build some stuff. So let's echo file 7 to file 7.txt, git add file 7, git commit dash m file 7, git log dash dash one line dash dash graph dash dash decorate dash dash all. I have now built my feature branch, and as we look at these, we know exactly where the things are. This is my feature branch that matches this Jira number. This is done features. This is where production is. Okay, I think my feature is done. Let me create a pull request, and now we'll discuss my feature. When we're ready, we can merge it in. So git checkout develop, git merge feature slash Jira 123, git log dash dash one line dash dash decorate dash dash all. And we now have that feature merged into develop. It's now done. It's ready to go. Now we might have some additional tuning, and as other people create new features, we don't want those to crowd in things. So let's create a new branch on our way into production. Git checkout release v0.1. Cool. Oh, dash B. Cool. So now we have a new branch where we can start to harden it. Maybe we'll do additional tests. QA can run through the script. We can validate that everything is fine. And in this case, we found a bug. So let's come back here into file 7, fix the bug, security feature. Okay, now that we've got that, git add file 7, git commit. Hello? Am I late for dinner? No. Okay, so we just added this release branch. We were able to harden it. We did the things that we needed to, but as other branches got merged in to develop, they can continue to develop, but now we have this release branch that we're ready to get closer to production. Okay, so now that we've got that branch done, let's take a look at this. And we're ready to deploy it. And so the way we deploy it is we merge master or main into our release. Git checkout main, git merge release v0.1, and now it is deployed to production. Let's also tag it just so that we know it's there. Git tag v0.1, and now we have deployed that version. We now have some extra branches that we can delete. Git branch -d release v0.1. We don't need the release branch anymore. Git branch -d feature 0, 1, 2, 3. We don't need that anymore. And now we've got production in place. One more thing that we need to do. As we hardened this for production, we should also merge that into done features back in development too. So let's merge develop. Git checkout develop, git merge main. Cool. Now in this case, we were able to do a fast forward merge, but we might need to do that. One of the critical pieces of git flow is this. Main should always be a fast forward merge. We don't want to get main out in front of develop to the point that we separate those out. I wish I had internet because I would show you this picture where this guy says, I think I did something bad. My Git history looks like Guitar Hero. It is the coolest picture. Git log -- one line -- graph -- decorate -- all. Git flow. With Git flow, we have named branches that represent various stages of development. Main, or formerly master, is production. Develop is done features. That's probably ahead of main. Feature / something is some feature that I'm building. And release / something is a release that we're getting ready. Now Git flow came first. And Git flow is really great if we have an established formal process here. But then came GitHub flow where they're like, you know, I don't want that many branches. I don't want this formalized release process. I just want to start with mainline. I want to create a feature, do the feature, commit that back into main, and then be done. So the major difference between Git flow and GitHub flow is that GitHub flow doesn't have a develop branch. That's it. But it got a cool new name because GitHub invented it. So we did Git flow, we did GitHub flow. You could also create a version per release. If you have, if you're supporting multiple versions, then you can come back to this particular tag and you can continue committing to that particular tag. Let that branch kind of wander off as it does the things. Now the possibility exists that I may want to then merge these commits back and forth, and at that point, that's getting fragile. But semantic version flow is the name of that branching strategy. And if you're working on a smaller project where you don't have a whole lot of feature contention, different teams or different developers working on it, then you can just do mainline development, where you just start at main and you just keep committing to main, and there's no merges and no branches, and that is completely fine as well. At that point, maybe you only use branches as those markers to say, I'm about to do something dangerous. Let me just create a thumbtack right here. And that's totally fine. What other branching and merging strategies have you used? Git flow? Yeah, we talked about Git flow. I like Git flow myself. It's cool. So divergent branches, we did that one. We talked about Git flow, branching strategies. Submodules. Pardon the rant. If you have a problem that can be solved with submodules, solve it with something else. Submodules are really hard. It sounds like a really cool thing where you just have a reference to another repository in your repository, but you don't have a reference to that other repository. You have a reference to a commit in that other repository, which means you're forever needing to update this submodule reference to be able to keep it up to date. And we have mechanisms for doing that. We have package managers, npm, or pip, or NuGet. These are package managers specifically designed for this problem. And so if you have a problem that can be solved with submodules, solve it with packages instead. Yes, you can do submodules. It's really painful. And if you need to have those cuts, then Sorry. But yeah, submodules are fragile. And git bisect. We only have a few minutes, so let's do some bisect. Now, we've been releasing for a time, we've been developing for a while, but there's a bug in the code somewhere, and I don't know where it is. It's one of those commits over there. I want to be able to go find, so we want to go find the bug. Now, I know that the bug exists where I am right now on this feature, and I know it doesn't exist somewhere else. So let me say git bisect start. Cool. So this commit is bad, git bad. And let me say git good. This commit right here, I think that's where the code was last correct. Cool. Git hook. Oh, git bisect. I did this wrong. Git bisect good there. Okay. And git bisect bad where I am right now. Cool. So now, if we take a look at this graph, we know that the problem didn't exist here and did exist here. So let's bisect this. Let's split it in half. Let's find a commit about halfway through, and now let's run our unit tests. And so we'll say npm test. We'll validate whether this bug exists or doesn't. And in this case, the bug does exist. So git bisect bad. This is a bad commit. Okay, so Git's going to say, okay, let me go pick a new one. We knew that the path was from here to here, and we split it in half. And this part was bad. So now we know that the problem is only from here to here. Cool. So let's split it in half and see if this one is good or bad. Well, in this case, this one was good. So now we know the problem is from here to here. Now let's split that in half. Was that good or bad? Well, that's bad. Okay, so now we know that the problem is only from here to here. We just keep splitting it in half. So in this case, git bisect good. And now it said, hey, I just found the problem. The bug is right there in that commit. Here are the files that you committed. Here's the thing that caused the problem. And so now that we know that this is the commit that had the issue, then we can go fix it. Cool. So I am going to say git status, git bisect reset. Cool. And now I'm back on my find the bug. So now I want to do a reverse commit of that previous commit, git reset that commit. And now I have all of those files put back. Cool. Git status. So let's git add file 7, git commit -m, revert this because of Jira 257. Cool. I now used bisect to go find the commit that had the bad problem and to be able to revert that commit. Now maybe I could go patch the code so that it was better. Maybe I didn't just need to revert it. But the cool thing is that revert did exactly the opposite of the previous commit. So I didn't need to worry about, hey, you know, did I undo something? But now I know that the bug is fixed. So now let's push to production. Which branching and merging strategy should we use? Git flow or GitHub flow? Git flow? Okay, Git flow. Git checkout develop. Git merge feature / find the bug. Okay, now I've got that in develop. So, oh, cool. I guess I could choose to rebase it if I wanted to get that straight line, but I'll accept that it came apart and went back together. Okay, so now let's git checkout -b release /v0.2 git. Let's harden this. And so in this case, all of our tests passed. We didn't need to do any commits. So let's take a look at our graph. Now let's git checkout main, git merge release v0.2. And notice it says fast forward. In Git flow, the magic sauce is main should fast forward. If main doesn't fast forward, you know there's stuff in main that isn't in develop. You need to merge that into develop to be able to continue on. But this one works, so that's great. Git tag v0.2, git branch -d, release /v0.2. Nope. 2. Do we have any other dangling branches? Git branch -a. Ooh, yeah, git branch -d, feature /find the bug, git log. What's the next command? Why don't I create a shortcut? Good call. Why don't I create a shortcut in the last minute or two? Let's talk about Git aliases. So here inside my .git folder is this config file that allows me to create aliases. Now I could create an alias that said, well, let's use a shorter command to do this. Now in this case, this is specific to this repository, and maybe I want to create one that's, I don't know, applies to all repositories. So let me open the git config file in my user directory. And this one is the one specific to my user. It's called the global one because, you know, user specific is global apparently. As opposed to the system one, which is the one that's global to the entire box because naming is hard. So we have the system one, the one that's installed in my program files or in my user bin. Then we have the user specific one, the global one, that applies to all my repositories, but not others' repositories on this machine. And then we have the specific one to this repository that is here. So let's create an alias. Now I want to create an alias that says hist is log --one line --graph --decorate --all. And now I have this alias. So if I now type in git hist, then I get that in one command. Cool. Now aliases are a wonderful and dangerous thing because you can make aliases to make Git feel like TFS or like SVN or like source tree, and you can do some really bad things. Once you get to a point where it's like your fingers know those commands, then create an alias because that'll help you move faster. So I created this alias, git hist, that does that, and that's really cool. I also created this alias right here, this alias called git. You ever get doing a thing and you're going along and you're talking and then you come back to your prompt and you say, I created an alias for git so that if I get distracted and come back, I can do it. Which, by the way, works there too. Each one will just create another shell and do the thing. So if I put this exclamation point in front of it, it will create a new shell and do it there. In this case, I didn't, and so it just ran that command. ls ignored, that's kind of fun. Git ls ignored. Those are all the files that I didn't commit because the git ignore file made them so. Now, this was a lot of fun. We got to walk through all of the different scenarios that you chose of how to make Git amazing. Now, you could definitely go delete the .git folder and start over, but I would invite you instead to peel the onion back a little bit. Take a look at some of those advanced commands in Git and know that you can't break it. Unless you go into that .git folder and start changing files, Git has everything stored inside of it, and you can walk your way out of it. Thanks for coming.